Streamers hate each other. Hate is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, bro, these streamers definitely do not like each other because there is a constant circulation of clips on the timeline that feature discourse and division. But what if I told you this was inevitable? Now, in the past, I made a video called Why There Are No Friends in Streaming, and to make a long story short, is because they aren't friends, they are merely collabs. I think it really got bad when Kai Cenat ascended to the top of the totem pole, but that's
true. AMP don't treat each other like that. AMP, you don't see them doing a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? RDC, you don't see the problems. People don't treat their friends like that.
Later. I'm gonna quit yambling. You already know I'm the hood Socrates, and let's actually start. Now, like I said, I think this all started when Kai Cenat reached the pinnacle of streaming. My guess is that there is a sense of envy or jealousy because when Kai got to his heights, streaming continued to grow and is now comparable to the music industry. And if you know, the music industry is not only shady, but you make hella money. And when money is involved, that's when niggas start getting a little cray. Let me show you some examples.
I know Kai about to do his subathon. That's time for streamers to go on vacation. Yeah, man.
That's why the Love Show is from the 23rd to the 30th. I already knew when it was coming, nigga. I already knew. I did my research, nigga. I made mega calls before I...
They just trolling though. I don't think these two clips count because they're clearly trolling. But the other stuff is crazy. The other stuff is wild. When Kai was below Adin and everybody else was above him in streaming, Kai never asked to look at no view bots. Kai never cared about numbers. When Kai was at the bottom, nobody was looking at numbers. Now all of a sudden everyone is. So yes, it did start when Kai got on top. Yeah, it did. I agree.
Playing what day I was gonna do it. Nigga, I been knew. Nigga, I'm like, nigga, on this day, no high production, nigga. I'm cool, bro. I ain't trying to lose no money. No. You feel me? So
now obviously Kai is cool with DDG and I think Ben too, so one could view both of these clips as just jokes and trolling, but clearly there is some truth mixed in. Like I said, Kai is at the top of streaming, so when he's streaming, people are watching, and while they may be joking, I think what they're saying is just a manifestation of their deeper feelings, which is this nigga is taking my viewers and thus taking my money. Now, I'm not making any hard accusations here of hidden animosity, but I think it's just some food for thought, my niggas. So chew up. Also, I don't think this is the first time a streamer has made a joke regarding streaming at the same time as Kai. So what I'm trying to say is that I think there may be an element of envy due to Kai's position, especially given the recent Kai Cenat hate campaign that was going on. I was happily a part of it. I think that campaign was the embodiment of what you could probably call the Kai Cenat fatigue, and being that these streamers see each other as collabs or food used to grow, is it really out of the equation to say that behind the scenes, niggas are tired of Kai and ready for a new top streamer? But anyways, I said all that because the conversation of competition and being number one keeps popping up for...
I was gonna wait, but he said the magic word. Competition. Competition is not the problem. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. Well, I don't hate to say it. I really don't care. Competition is not the problem. If you're afraid of competing in a space, you shouldn't be in said space. You're not prepared for said space. If competition is a problem for you, you shouldn't be where you're at. Get better. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Get better. Do better. Do more. Change the strategy. Because there's always going to be somebody like Kai who wants more. There's always going to be somebody like Max who wants more. If you don't want more, then they're obviously going to pass you at some point.
Some reason. And I can't understand why these streamers don't like competition. And like I said in the last video on the subject, I just think that's because these niggas not friends in the first place. Because if you're competing with your friend and you're secure in yourself, there's no way that should be causing that much division.
Consider PBM a top 5 English streamer on planet Earth. And if that's the case, I just asked you a question, Maxwell Dent, you know you're my boy. Do you think you're part of the problem? Just a question. I'm not saying you are. I'm asking you. Like, ask yourself, are you part of the problem? Because we know your dreams. You want to be the #1 streamer. You want to do all that. Are you Does that competitive get in the way and thinking that every stream, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think you're part of the problem? I just want to know what your thoughts are on that. You want that? Nigga, I'm asking you a question. This some shit.
I understand, but I don't believe Max is part of that problem only because I don't see Max not collabing just because he wants to be the best streamer. Kai and Max still collab with people, even though they want to be the best streamer. Them being competitive isn't stopping them from collabing. They still collab. So it's not it doesn't make sense for them to be the problem. If anything, I would argue they help because even though they want to be the best, they still collab.
I asked him in real life, and he would answer truthfully because Max is pretty honest. I'm not gonna lie. So with the knowing that you want to be the #1 streamer and knowing certain streams have to be a certain way, you got to be averaging a certain amount, and each stream got to kind of be a banger in your head or memorable. Do you feel like that gets in the way of the old classic form of streaming that you feel like you missed? Do you think you're part of the equation?
My thoughts on the Rage clip is that honestly, you have to just come to terms with the fact that two things can be true at once. I think you can be unified as streamers while being competitive. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. My question is, how does someone's personal goal of wanting to be #1 affect streamer relations? That is purely a personal goal. And if you feel threatened by that, you're either not secure or you don't like that person. I'll give you prime example, Mr. Beast. He's a guy who is very vocal about his love for being the best in YouTube, but that doesn't divide the community. Didn't he turn YouTube into a sloptimization gimmick? I mean, yeah, but what does that have to do with his relations with other YouTubers? Fair enough. But that's why I can't fully resonate with what Rage is saying here. We see that same strive to be #1 on YouTube. Striving to be #1 does not inherently affect relationships, unless you're not secure or you don't like these people. Max ended up responding, and here's what he had to say.
We was all in the basement, and you was just talking about some shit like, what did you say? You said some shit like, damn, Max, I thought you was finna be the #1, you fell off. Nigga, you talking like a viewer, like a chat nigga, like, you feel me? Facts. Rage is my boy, but since he's saying this on stream, I'ma just also say it on stream. This is my brother, like, I fuck with Rage. But like, it's facts though. So just like you saying that, yeah, we all part of the problem. We all competitive. It's cool though. I think competition is good for this shit. I think competition is good for this shit, but I'm just saying we should all be unified as streamers. Niggas could be able to hop on Discord. Niggas can do shit together. Now it's like sections and factions. Niggas gonna be mad at me speaking facts, but it's true, bro. Imagine, yo, bro, you on stream to all your viewers, niggas just farming saying you fell off.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga should have never left the J. And I'm not even trolling. I used to watch Max when I was younger. And y'all know I don't mess with Max for real. Not anymore. Cause he just be around them weirdos and I can't rock with it personally. But it's funny to hear because it seems like he's peeping it in real time for himself. Just how fake that energy is. And I mean, he even called out Rage for being disingenuous because he's cracking jokes about falling off. But let's be real, niggas be cracking jokes, but these jokes be having truth in them. So you don't know how he really felt. But I also feel like this response really just continues to validate what I've been saying. Max himself said it. You can be competitive and still be unified, but the reason niggas aren't unified is because they're not really friends. He just said his own homeboy sounded like a chat nigga. He said Rage was sounding like a dude from the chat. Low-key, on the topic of peeping things for what they are, here's something I found interesting. Now we know Rage was one of the people that commented on Max's departure from FaZe.
When niggas go, you feel me? This is real. Okay, this is not troll. This is real. Still got love, all the love in the world for my dog. But he's on to different paths and like, you feel me? Like, this is real. This is not a troll, I swear on my life. And I hate that when we're at the point when niggas actually got to say some serious shit. The first thing everybody thinks everybody's trolling because we troll way too damn much. You feel me? But this ain't no troll. I have all the love in the world for my boy Max. Forever. You feel me? When FaZe was talking, I was like, yo, Rage, what we doing? Rebrand needs to happen. Who we picking up? Plaqueboymax, the first motherfucker that came to mind. No ifs, ands, or buts. You feel me? But Max, He doing his own, you feel me? I'm not gonna say why. That's up to him to do. I'm not gonna do that for him. You know what I'm saying? I just wanna let y'all know it's not.
And he even hopped into a Discord call with him to seemingly talk about everything that transpired. But what's getting me is that Rage was supporting him, but then tried to attribute the Great Division to his departure. I don't know, man. Me personally, I'm not doing my homie like that, cause it sounded like niggas need the box, cause that was disrespectful. I'm trolling. But for real though, I just feel like he was just showing love. And while departing phase doesn't mean that a person instantly just wants to be #1 streamer, I feel like it's part of Max's own self-growth and his own development. So for Rage to even insinuate that, hey, you might be part of the problem because you're striving to be the best you and striving to be the best in your field, to me it just comes across like, I don't know, I wouldn't do it, but that's just me. But clearly the clip pages were starting to notice the obvious display of distance between all of these streamers, and they started nostalgia baiting.
It's not ego. It's evolution. All right. At some point, people have to change. In content, you can't stay the exact same all the time. 90% of the time, it won't work if you stay the exact same. Do you think AMP would be AMP if they were still playing 2K on a daily basis? Streaming for 8 hours a day? Do you think that would be the same? Do you think they would have tone if they only focused on 2K? No, they wouldn't. Like, I don't understand. Like, at some point, people have to grow. Like, I don't understand what stream viewers expect. At some point, people have to grow. They have to change. They have to expand in some way, shape, or form.
And that's just the voice slow down. But another thing that makes me feel like this current era of streaming division started with Kai's ascension to the top was the fact that his secret boyfriend was on stream reminiscing about the days he was on top.
But the one thing I do want to call out is when I was #1 on Twitch. When I was #1 on Twitch, and it wasn't about numbers and it wasn't about competition, guys. It was about having fun. It was about involving people.
The reason it wasn't about numbers and competition is because when Adin was on top, no one said anything about numbers and competition. When Adin was on top, nobody was like, yo, Adin, look at, yo, Adin, your numbers are fake. Yo, Adin, why don't you have you should have so-and-so on stream, not so-and-so. That didn't happen. When Adin was at the top of streaming, nobody knew how much he was making like that. Some people knew. Majority of people didn't know how much streamers made back then. That's why it was like that, because people didn't know. Now all of a sudden Kai is presumably at the top, I would say. You know, as far as we know, as far as the information I know, he's at the top streamer. So now that Kai is at the top, everybody's talking about his numbers. Everyone's talking about how much money he is making. Everyone is talking about how much competition, how he doesn't do the things he used to do. No one said the same things to Adin. No one was on that type of timing with Adin. The only thing they talked about with Adin, for the most part, the only problem people had with Adin was that he was doing weird stuff sometimes. And he was doing weird stuff. He was. Let's keep it a buck. If y'all were watching streaming back then, I ain't gonna lie. Those were the days, boy. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, if you know, you know.
It was about bringing people together and doing shit together, right? I wish you could go back to that, but streaming is just not how it was, okay?
It actually can be like that. It can be. It can be like that. However, for it to be like that, people have to be okay with Kai being on top. And they have to be okay with people like Max wanting to get it on their own. And by get it on their own, I'm not talking about not collabing. I'm talking about being an individual instead of being a part of a group, or being at the head of a group while still being an individual. Why would I stream with you if your chat is constantly pitting us against each other? Why would I stream with you at that point? Why would I do that? That's annoying.
Streaming is not how it was. It's competition now. It's numbers. It's this. It's that. It's this. It's that. It is what it is. It is what it is. You're a Jew? Sure. It is what it is.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Grunk is tripping. This nigga Adin is literally tripping. What are you talking about? This is the equivalent to a nigga at the YMCA, bro, who you're hooping with, telling you if he didn't injure his knee, he would have made it to the league. Bro, what are you talking about? Genuinely. When Adin was at #1, all he was doing was spamming zesty jokes. It was zesty jokes, e-dates, and rapper collabs, bro. This nigga talking about being together. And then on top of that, bro, you're flexing kick contracts and kick deals. And it just feels so tone deaf because he's definitely part of the problem. Like, his community is one of the most like vicious on the platform. And he has no qualm is part of the problem, and especially them NBA kick deals. It's really the money and the fact that a lot of these people aren't much different from your average person. It's just that they have large sums of bread. I'm saying that it just almost feels like streaming has turned into this shitty high school sitcom. Some of these streamers are just awkward people who want to make money and are willing to do morally compromising things at times for it, and that just sounds like high school to me. I don't know.
Well,
Be you till I fucking die. All right, we doing it or what? What's the word?
Praise on God, I'm not doing another event with a Twitch stream that's gonna pay 50-50 from now on God. So that's the end of that.
Yeah, what happened with that? Well, what happened with that, bro?
I mean, it's obvious. No, I paid.
How much he had to pay? How much he had to pay? And how much you had to pay?
40K, and I paid like 240K. I think 240.
And did y'all agree on that before?
I agreed to pay majority, but we didn't know that they were gonna go out to like yachts and clubs and shit. So
This is how you know that streaming is a newer rising type of industry, right? Once again, I'll say it again. This is where contracts, signing papers, there are some papers more important than NDAs sometimes. These streamers, they're only thinking about NDAs, they're only thinking about problems. They need to be thinking about deals, all right? There's this thing called good and bad business, all right? Good and bad business. This is bad business. From somebody who makes a lot of money like Adin does, we know he got it. This is bad business. He could have easily had Lacey sign something. Yo, this is how much I'm paying. This is how much you're paying. Everything else, you want to live that Miami life? That's fine. You're going to come out of pocket. I'm paying for the content. Everything else, out of pocket. You want to go to the club? That's fine. Throw as many ones as you want. It's not going to be ones from my checkbook, though. Them donations you get in your stream, that's where the ones are going to come from. You want to go do whatever? You want to go on a yacht in Miami? Congratulations. But you coming out of pocket.
yeah, but he doesn't want to pay anything.
I'm like,
so here's what it is.
You paid $250,000 for that event.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I
swear to God.
Crazy. That is crazy.
That's
Holy
nuts,
crazy.
gang. That's nuts.
It's fine. It's fine, but I'm just not doing it anymore. I mean,
so for context, this was basically the weight loss competition they had going on. I'm not gonna talk about it because I really don't care, but I'm showing y'all so y'all don't think I'm just trolling. This is basically the one friend who ordered hella food and then asked to split the bill evenly. So that's really just what a lot of this stuff boils down to. Just immature adults who touched a lot of money. Maybe some of them are stuck in high school, but it's time to just let it go, guys. Life moves on. Y'all wanna know what's kind of silly? And it's from the guy I least expected to say this about, but Ronaldo was actually cooking. He was saying the same stuff as me.
I'm the smallest one here. I don't think my take on this is, I actually have a take. Should I start stirring myself? I think streamers have egos. I think streamers just don't like each other. Simple as that. And it's not based off egos. It's just based off they just don't like each other. And people fake friendships. And put question marks all you want. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't think people like each other. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why. Alright, as long as you're not ruining relationships, I don't think you have to force friendships. Oh my gosh, I just cooked. Did you hear what I just said? As long as you're not ruining relationships, you don't have to force friendships. And I think that's facts, personally. But hey, you know what I'm saying? If they want to hate each other, I mean, that's fine. But competition definitely should not be the problem. Competition is normal in anything. Anything that deserves respect has competition in it. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Do streamers really hate each other?